I'm running.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Wake Up New Bedford. My name is Tonianne Wong, and today we're here to talk about the Business Improvement District. The Business Improvement District, or B.I.D. for short, is a program that has been proposed onto the city. The Business Improvement District is a certain region in downtown that is claimed to be supportive of the city and make it improved. However, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about exactly what it is, what they say it does, what they don't tell you it does, and what are the consequences for our city of New Bedford should this program pass. So we're going to start today by talking about the B.I.D. itself. What is the B.I.D.? A business improvement district is a defined area within a city in which private organizations provide city services and events by using funds from the property owners within that zone. Now that is a pretty dictionary kind of definition, so let's break it down for New Bedford. New Bedford has a downtown area, and it's vibrant and active. If you've ever been in it, you'll see beautiful paintings, murals, vendors, street artists, independent business owners, and just good working class people making our city into a place of culture and a place to celebrate our history. That downtown is also very attractive to people who have not lived in New Bedford. Perhaps tourists, perhaps outside investors. We live by a waterfront. We live right by the ocean. So this place, to an outsider, does seem pretty attractive and potentially very profitable. A business improvement district is not a new concept. Many cities throughout America have adopted it, and many of them have passed them. And New Bedford just happens to be the next one in line. The most popular organization that drafts and attempts to pass B.I.D. proposals is called New City America. It is a San Diego-based organization in which they go to different cities with a lot of monetary potential, and they get their respective city councils to pass a program such as a B.I.D. It turns that city's downtown area into a zone controlled by what is called a B.I.D. corporation. This is a private board of people who get to decide on where funding is allocated, what they put it towards in expenses, as well as what those exact expenses manifest themselves as, whether as services or events put on by the city, or smaller things like street cleaning and extra security for a downtown area. New Bedford is the latest on their list. One of the people who works with New City America, Marco Lamandri, has been working over the past several years to see if he can draft a proposal as well as gain enough signatures in petitions to get the City Council of New Bedford to pass this proposal of his. But then what will the B.I.D. do? Or at least what will this proposal claim it will do if it does pass? The B.I.D. will add private security, extra eyes and ears on the street, in their words, putting our homeless population at risk. They claim that it will beautify the city. They say that it is to have people clean the streets, have extra surveillance. But the thing is, with all that extra security come private security guards. They do work with public officials, but at the end of the day, they are private security who work for the B.I.D. corporation. In addition, having all of these payments from the property owners within the bid area, those prices are affordable to some, not affordable to everybody. Whether you support the bid or not, if your property falls within that zone, you have the potential to be assessed and then pay a bid assessment fee every year in order to fund the bid program. For larger businesses, they are able to afford it. But for the smaller businesses, such as the mom and pop shops, but for the smaller businesses, like the mom and pop shops, for the single business owners, for those smaller places, for all of the people who are working as individuals, individual business owners, they will not be able to afford those bid assessment fees. In addition, having a bid district will lead to rent increases for small businesses and all of those who live downtown. So not only are they paying bid fees, but rentals are likely to increase as well. This causes hardships for many people who are already paying paycheck to paycheck, business owners who are barely keeping up with their own expenses as is, and it creates a bigger danger for those who are housing insecure. The focus is on tourism displaces long-term residents, those who have been living in New Bedford for the longest time and are to this day still struggling to keep up with the expenses of living in downtown New Bedford. Many of these people include racial and ethnic minorities, those who speak English as a second language, those who are working class, those who are smaller business owners and are trying to get a foothold. Maybe they are a newly established business or a very young business that's still trying to make a foothold. These are the kinds of people who contributed to the history of New Bedford. They are the people who create the art and culture and personality of this city and make it that fun and quirky and inviting place to spend your time in. When those people are the ones who are not looked after, and instead the bid policies favor those who already have a lot of money, those diverse populations, those marginalized populations, are going to be pushed further into those margins. They're going to be forced out of the city, unable to keep up with those rents and growing expenses. Yes, it can attract tourism, but at the cost of displacing the local residents of New Bedford. The proposed bid is at its very core an undemocratic governing body. It is drafted by a third-party organization who does not reside in the city itself. Lemandry and New City America are based in San Diego. Many people who want to impose policies similar to a bid also come from outside locations. Many of the people who propose these policies do not live in New Bedford itself. They are often very wealthy people living in outside towns, outside cities, maybe even entirely different states. They see New Bedford less as a source of culture and history, but rather as a monetary investment. They are putting prices over the people. They are putting potential cash gains, potential tourist money. They're putting all of that above the artists who have lived here their entire lives, generations of families who have made their livelihoods here and have contributed to their community. They want to put in services that we already do for our city. Putting in festivals and events, we already do that. We, as a New Bedford community, have put on events, parties, celebrations, cultural festivities, and we've all done it by the people, for the people. Introducing this middleman, introducing this third party to come in and create their own idea of what we ought to be doing as a city in order to be appealing to outside tourism, it goes against what we as a city already have been doing for years. I moved into the city about 2 years ago. So I'm relatively new to the scene compared to some of those who have lived here for generations. But even in this short time that I've lived here, I've seen so much diversity, so many amazing people, so many talented artists, and more importantly than all of that, people who welcome me. It's a community where I can belong. I've lived in places before where being who I am has put me in danger. It has put me in places where I knew that I wasn't truly welcome. And to see New Bedford moving in, I came here by myself and not really knowing exactly what to expect. I found the Unitarian Church, who's right in the middle of the city. Great church. It is more of a community center. It has all kinds of amazing people, and their entire mission is to welcome people of all walks of life, try to understand them, and to give them a voice. The same can apply to downtown New Bedford as a whole. It's a place where I can go to and find people who want to get to know me, people who want to put my voice out there, and people like me, their voice out there, who have historically been silenced. This is a city full of interesting, wacky, fun, silly, but also just wise, insightful, and kind people who really do take their time to make sure that those from the margins are able to come out and express themselves in whichever way they can. That manifests itself in the form of art exhibits, murals painted on the walls, the small businesses that are tucked in between all the little buildings, all the little restaurants that are started by the people who live here. When you don't prioritize those places, and you don't prioritize the citizens who live in New Bedford and what they as individuals are able to bring, and would rather focus on a dollar sign on a screen, you erase what it means to be human. Ever since humans were able to walk on two legs and wield fire, we've always needed community. That hasn't changed. We might have smartphones. We might have technology. We might have cars and airplanes and who knows what that's happened in the past 100 years or so. But that need for community has always been there. No amount of technology and no amount of politics or legislation can ever replace it. As humans, we need to be understood. We need to be welcomed. We need to find a place where we belong. New Bedford has a lot of potential, and I'm not talking about tourism. I'm not even talking about the waterfront. I'm not talking about any of those pretty scenes on the surface level, although they are nice. What makes New Bedford truly beautiful is the people who live here. What makes New Bedford beautiful is the community that we have built over hundreds of years. It's all of the struggles that the people of New Bedford have pushed through. It is all of the times we've laughed and cried and smiled and hugged each other, the thousands and thousands of times over generations in our city's history. We have to remember to band together. Remember that community is more than just money. It is more than just legislation on paper. It is about humans having the freedom and the systems in place to make those connections, to make those memories, to spend time with their friends and family without being burdened by excess payments or expenses that all go towards those who already have money. We don't need to line the pockets of those who already have wealth in excess. So in response, what are we doing? What's New Bedford doing now that we know that this bid proposal is right on our doorstep? Well, there is a counter movement, appropriately called No Bid, which is fighting back. Our city is not going to watch a bunch of people from outside our city draft up some random proposal out of the blue and just roll on our backs and take it. We're going to stand up and fight for what we believe is right, fight for our city, protect those who have been marginalized and targeted by these policies, and we are going to demonstrate. We're going to vote. We are going to get the people, and we are going to show them that this is not okay. There's going to be a rally outside of City Hall. Beyond this particular instance of the bid, there is going to be more and more outside corporations waiting to get their hands on a city like ours. It's a great city. It does have a lot of potential in their eyes. But as the citizens who live in this city, we are constantly going to have to stand up for ourselves. We have this no-bid movement more than just to stop this one policy from happening, but to be proactive. We are here to make sure that this city stays in the hands of its people. We are here to make sure that this city is for its people, by its people, and not under the influence of a third-party middleman of any kind. So far, we've been having weekly meetings. We are more than welcome new members who are interested. We have a website. We are always welcoming of new members. We have a website, nobidnewbedford.org, where you can learn more, where you can stay up to date, and where you can learn how can you do your part to make sure that this city stands upright on its own legs in the years to come. We have a lot of projects planned. We have passing out flyers. We have training sessions. We have teach-ins. We have demonstrations and protests and rallies. We're going to be organizing them in the fall, in the winter, and for the many years to come. So we've talked a lot about the bid in these past couple of minutes. Let's just take a little bit of time to summarize and recap what we've learned so far. The bid is an area within a city, such as New Bedford's, that's going to collect assessment fees from the properties inside it to fund services and events that are basically proposed to by a third-party organization. The people who live in that bid zone will have to pay those fees, whether they're a big or a smaller business, and those bigger businesses get a little bit easier because they already have the wealth. The smaller businesses are going to struggle to keep up. And if those events go as the bid plans it will, then rents are going to increase, further driving people away, especially those who are already living in the margins, such as people of color and the homeless population. We as a city are currently defending against predatory proposals like these. And we are proactively working to make our city one that is by and for us. For those of you who are interested in joining this cause, we want your voice. We want you to go out there and vote. Vote for counselors who actually align with your needs. We have a couple, but we don't have enough yet. We need more voters. Register to vote. Go to your polling places. Every election matters. It doesn't always have to be the big ones. Even the smaller ones really do make a difference. Your voice does matter. Attend the meetings. So go out there and vote. Make your voices heard and attend those rallies. Stay in touch with anything that happens with No Bid over the next couple of weeks, and then keep staying on there so we can make our city for us. Keep making our city a no-bid city. So that's all I have to say for today. Thank you all for listening. My name is Tonianne, and thank you for watching this episode of Wake Up New Bedford. If you would like to learn more, please visit our website at nobidnewbedford.org to learn more details. Thank you very much, and I hope you all have a great day.
Yeah. I'm running,